Oh, got it. Well, now you're all seated, we're going to stand and salute the shrine. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Dhammaya. Namo Dhammaya. Namo Sanghaya. Namo Sanghaya. Namo Namah. Namo Well, it's absolutely fantastic to see so many of you here. So a very, very warm welcome to you all, to you online. My name is Surya Gupta, and I'm the chair of the London Buddhist Centre, and it's my honour really to be hosting this evening, this very special evening where we'll welcome back 4 new order members. So firstly, before I say more about that, I just really want to say a very warm welcome if it's your very first time at the centre, if you're friends and family of one of our new order members, or if you've just wandered in, off the street, as it were, out of curiosity, wondering what Buddhism meditation is all about. So as well as our regular Dharma night attendees as well. So very warm welcome from me to all of you. So yes, this is on Dharma night. It's a night where we share the teachings of the Buddha, share the practices, really explore sort of the potential of the Buddhist path. And in all its sort of complexities and richness. That's what Dharma night is. Dharma means teachings, practices, truth, reality, the way things are. So this night is dedicated to exploring all of that. And tonight is a very special Dharma night because we're welcoming back 4 people who you could say have really experienced the fruits of the Buddhist path. They've really been living the teachings, practicing the teachings, and now have gone on a very special journey over the last, it's a few months. They've been away, they've gone on a very special retreat, and where they've really, actually become new beings in a sense, become new Dharma farers, and become people who are dedicating the rest of their lives to practicing the teachings, to realizing the truth for themselves and for all beings. So when you become an order member, it's quite a training process. There's many years of studying really as to what it's all about, what the kind of what the Buddhist path is. Just really many years of discovering, how it works for you, how to put it into practice in your life, how to understand who you are and also connect with your potential. So there's many years of training. So people to begin with, they ask to be ordained. It's not something that's necessarily expected. There's no, don't have to do it, but people ask to be ordained. They ask to join an order whereby where they can commit themselves fully, and where they join other people who are fully also committed to realising the truth, to realising the truth of the Buddhist path, to practicing it every day for themselves and for all beings. So these 4 people have been for many years training, and the point comes where they feel like, okay, I feel ready now to join this order. So you ask to be ordained, but what does it mean? You have to kind of go on a journey to discover, what does it mean to be ordained? What might that look like for your life? What are the things that are challenging for you? What are the things that inspire you? So that's the training process, and a point comes in that where they go, I think I'm ready. I think I understand myself well enough. Other people understand me, and I feel connected enough, committed enough to actually dedicate the rest of my life to this. So that's a very special journey, and that point where they feel ready is witnessed, and they go on this special retreat whereby they're with other people who've also at that stage, and they're supported to go on this deeper transformation. So what we're seeing tonight, what we're going to hear from our 4 new ordained people, and you're going to hear a bit about their experience. You're going to hear about their journey towards ordination, and perhaps some of their experiences on this retreat. And when I hear people talking about their ordination retreat experience, of course it brings back my own. It brings back that point whereby I went off. In those days when I was getting ordained, you got a month's notice. So you got a letter saying we think you're ready to be ordained, and you're going to be on this retreat. So we had a month's notice, and then we had to sort of sort out bits of our lives so we can, make that space to go there. And my retreat was in Wales, rainy Wales, I didn't know what the journey was going to be like. I knew I felt like I was a Buddhist deeply, and I wanted to live that out in my life. And I wanted to do so with other people. That's what I knew. But I didn't know what the experience of being on this retreat, this month-long retreat with other people would be like. I didn't know who I'd be at the end of it. I knew how I'd experienced myself so far, and I knew that something very special would happen when I came into contact with other people also ready to make that commitment. That's all I knew. And then it happened, and I came back, and my life was never the same again. And in a way, now I look back, I can see what happened on that retreat and how it produced some of the things that then played out in my life. But I couldn't have told you that then. So it brings to mind my own experience, and it's a very special moment that there have been very special weeks and months that they've been having, and we're the first people publicly that they're going to be sharing their experience with tonight. So yes, it's a very significant point for them. They've been absorbing. They've come back, I think, a few days or a few weeks, maybe a few weeks ago, and they've been absorbing their experience, and now they're coming back to share that, some aspects of that with us. And it's their way, really, of kind of coming back into the world, really, coming back and sharing the fruits of their practice and their insights and their learning with all of us. So how are we going to do this? We're going to welcome them. We'll start firstly in a short meditation. We'll do a short meditation. We'll then do a mantra. So I'm going to ask somebody to do a mantra. Somebody? Pranamanas. Pranamanas. Can you do that?
Which mantra would you like?
Saccamani. Thank you. We'll do a Saccamani mantra. So we'll do a short meditation, Saccamani mantra. And at a certain point, I will ring a bell. And at that point, we're going to welcome. We're going to actually welcome, form an avenue of welcome. So what will happen is we'll stand up, and those people who are not ordained will form an avenue, a pathway of welcome for our new order members. And those of us who are will stay in this room and will stand and greet them. Yeah. And then they'll come in, they'll take a seat, and we'll sit back down, and then we'll hear what they have to say. Okay. So let's get ready to welcome. So just settle in. Begin to let go of all the things that have been going on today and arriving in this space. You're settling and allowing the body to find a place of ease. Noticing thoughts and feelings. Coming back to the present again and again.
Shakyamuni Swaha. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni 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 Shakyamuni Swaha. Shakyamuni Swaha. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni 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 Shakyamuni Swaha.
So we've been chanting the Shakyamuni mantra, and the Shakyamuni mantra is Shakyamuni was the name of the historical Buddha, the person who went on his journey to find truth, to find freedom from suffering, and sat under a tree one day at a certain point in his journey and discovered the path, discovered the way to liberation, to enlightenment, to freedom from suffering. And since then, countless of beings have trodden that path that he and others after him laid out. And tonight, we have 4 people who have been treading that path and who've made a deepening a deeper commitment to realising the truth. They've been away for, how long were you away for? 3
months.
3 months. 3 months in the mountains, in nature, looking at the blue sky, I imagine, often, and contemplating the truth, contemplating the way things are, discovering more of who they are, letting go, I imagine, of who they no longer need to be. And they've come back with new names, some different practices as well, and more of their journey. That they'll be sharing some of that with us tonight. So a very warm welcome from me to all of you. It's a delight to have you in our midst. And we've hopefully warmed the space up. It didn't need warming up really, did it? But we've warmed it up energetically for you. Really looking forward to hearing from you. So what we're going to do, we'll hear from 2 of you first. I'm not sure who's first, but we'll hear from 2 of you first. Then we'll have a short leg stretch, and then we'll hear from the remaining of you. And then we'll, in a way, we'll then end our evening in here with a short ritual. We'll end with a puja, a short puja, which I'll say more about when we come to it. That's how we'll end in here. And then we'll go out and you can greet our new order members and also drink tea and have some cake. That is the official end, with tea and cake and more greetings. So that's our evening tonight. So yes, I'd like to invite, who is first? Yes, I don't want to say your name because I'd like you to say it. So is that the order you're going in?
Yeah.
Okay, well, fantastic, all right. So I'll invite the first of you to come and share with us something of your journey. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you for that warm welcome. Yeah, need to let that in. So my name is Dhibhajana. Dhibhajana. Yeah. Yeah, it's very nice to see you all. And everyone who's tuning in online as well. I think my parents and my partner and I think some few friends of mine are online. So hi. Yeah, all right. Thank you for having me in the LBC, like coming back into the LBC, because I actually don't live in London anymore, but the LBC was the center I went to first, and it was a very, very, it was the main context I was into on my path towards ordination. So it's very delightful to be back and be welcomed back by the LBC. It means a lot to me, and I would actually like to start my talk by expressing my gratitude towards a multitude of people who have supported me over these last years of my training. And it might give you a flavor of the ordination and what ordination means, which is gratitude. So I would like to start with my parents and my family, who not just given me the gift of my life, but have loved me, supported me in so many ways since I was a child. And I especially want to thank them for their open hearts and their patience when I kept changing my mind what I wanted to do with my life and the direction I took over and over again. But especially the gift of confidence they've given me, not just in myself, but also by living such a wholehearted spiritual life themselves, that for me as a child it was already, just I had a confidence from an early age that there's much more to life than just the material world, and just their appreciation for the mystical and divine. So yeah, thank you, Mum and Dad. Next I want to say thank you to all my friends, which there are plenty. But I probably will forget someone, so I'm sorry if I forget someone. But yeah, I want to express my thank you to Abhay Nandi and the whole team of Lama's Pajamas, where I worked for 3 years. Thank you to the community of Samayakula, where I lived for 3 years, because those are just have been friendships which were so strongly supporting me in this process towards ordination. And they've given me such a full and engaged opportunity to experience and practice spiritual friendship, and just be able to talk about the Dharma like on a day-to-day basis, really, and practices on a day-to-day basis. Thank you to my ex-Mitra study group, who was a very dedicated and very strong group and context of study and friendship. Thank you to all my friends outside of the movement who supported my spiritual growth, especially Alex and Alex, who have actually showed me the Buddhist center, and also Kasya and Divya, who they might watch online. Hello. And they just also really supported me with curiosity in my spiritual path. I also want to say thank you to my partner, who is not here today. He decided to stay in Froome. Also just his support and just his your inspiration, and just especially when I came closer to ordination, I was just quite anxious, and he was very patient with me. So thank you, Liam. Then I want to say a huge thank you to my Kula, which is, if you don't know what a Kula is, that is a group of women who support you to be in the to make that step towards ordination, and they help you to deepen the faith, or help me to deepen my faith and commitment in the Three Jewels. And they just guided me with such also kindness and depth of interest, and just the friendship they offered me was just it just feels so abundant. So that was Abhay Nandi, Akasachoti, Dani Uttar, Maitreyi, Kusala Sara, Vimalamani, Kalyachita, and Superdramati. Thank you. And I want to express my gratitude towards the LBC as a whole. Just what an abundance to be able to practice in such conditions, and just receive so much just practice from other people, and I just feel like I enjoyed a very joyful Dharma life here, and very alive and vibrant. So thank you if you are the chair. Thank you if you're a Mitra, or you work here, or you just come here to sit next to the fountain in your lunch break. Just for you who create the atmosphere in the LBC, that when I stepped through the door, I wanted to come back, really, and be part of it. And especially for everyone who helped me financially to actually go on that ordination retreat. But I also want to say thank you to my Sangha in Froome, my new Sangha, who has really welcomed me wholeheartedly into the midst. And I just felt really quickly part of the Sangha, and it just shows that Triratna is not just a sort of local Buddhist center. It's just, I just felt it's a worldwide network of friendship, and that's just very precious to be part of. Yeah, and finally I want to express my gratitude towards my precious teachers, my private preceptor Kalyuchitta, my public preceptor Subhadramati, my teacher Bhante Sangharakshita, his teachers, and of course the Buddha Shakyamuni, because if any one of those wouldn't have lived their life in the way they lived their life, I wouldn't be standing here, and wouldn't have received this precious, priceless gift of being initiated into the family of the wise and compassionate ones. So, yeah. Yeah, so I won't actually tell you a lot about the Ordination Retreat itself a lot. Because I think it's much better if you actually go there with the sense of mystery and not knowing what you're gonna go into, as I did. But I can tell you that the conditions which are in place on that retreat are very, to make this very important commitment are ideal. Being on a retreat for 3 months gives you the time and space to really dive deep into just getting to know your mind quite deeply and clearly. We lived communally together, and it's like you have all of a sudden 18 people who look after you. It's not just yourself looking after yourself, which feels a lot of love to be able to take in, actually. I don't think I really can understand actually the effects the retreat had on me yet. I mean, I just came back 2 weeks ago, so I'm just I think just taking that in, really. But I think if you just look at these 3 beautiful jewels next to me, they're just radiant, aren't they? That just communicates it better than what I can say, really. And speak to them, get to know them, and just befriend them. I think that will really communicate something of the retreat, and just their presence. I can't really see it about myself, so but so I can just say, if you have the chance to go on that retreat, go. And if you think you won't be going on that, if you think you can't go on that retreat, go. Because the lines of Shantideva in the Bodhicharyavatara, I think, expressed much better what I felt about it. And that sort of was with me on the retreat very much, but I'm just going to quote him. So this precious opportunity with the leisure and other conditions needed to practice the Dharma is extremely rare. This is what makes life meaningful. If we waste it now, when will it come again? So it was one of my experience of the retreat, that sense of urgency, and internally it felt like, don't waste your time, Dhibhajana. Make the most of this precious opportunity to be able to practice with your friends and teachers so closely, and try to really investigate your mind, and let go of what is in the way to sit in the presence of the wise and compassionate ones. So that, I think, that's it, really. Just let go of what holds you back to be in the presence of the wise and compassionate ones. So my name, so I have to say my name is an aspiration to help me develop on my spiritual path. They're given to us as something we need to grow into. So Dhibhajana means she who partakes in wisdom. So first part of my name, means wisdom, meditation, reflection, especially religious thought, intelligence, but also devotion and prayer. D is the seed syllable of Manjughosha and the Heart Sutra, which are the embodiment and teaching of the perfection of wisdom texts. But D is also related to the arts and science. And bhajana, partaking, means partaking, sharing in, and associating with a place or a person in which anything is collected or whom a quality is easily seen or noticed. And partake means to take part or experience something along with others, to share a certain nature or attribute. And I did a bit more research on Buddhist. In Buddhist text you would also find that bhajana is often translated as vessel. So Kalichitta also said to me, that's my preceptor, a vessel gradually filling as a sharing of wisdom to the world, and that the name signifies relationships based in wisdom. But what I also found interesting when I received the name was that emphasis in the name is not like she who is or she who has wisdom, is partaking in wisdom. And I felt that was that was a very wise emphasis. Well, it was a very wise just emphasis that it's not about possessing wisdom, because I like having things. It actually reminded me of a poem from Sangharakshita, which is called "The Unseen Flower," and I will conclude with that with my talk. He's talking about compassion in that poem, but you can just think that you can just exchange it with wisdom. It's basically the same thing, compassion and wisdom. The unseen flower. Compassion is far more than emotion. It is something which springs up in the emptiness, which is when you yourself are not there, so that you do not know anything about it. Nobody, in fact, knows anything about it. If they knew it, it would not be compassion. But they can only smell the scent of the unseen flower that blooms in the heart of the void.
Thank you very much, Dhibhajana. Yes, I was reflecting when you were expressing all the gratitude of the Buddha's famous words that spiritual friendship is the whole of the spiritual life. Yes, so friendship is the whole of the spiritual life, and I thought you really exemplified that by the different ways you saw how all the different relationships you have really helped you grow. And your name also reflects that partaking in wisdom and the relationships, the wisdom in relationships. So I really appreciated that. So thank you very much for sharing the scent of your retreat with us and your reflections. Beautiful. So our next speaker.
Thank you. I'm very nervous. It's good to see so many friends. Thank you for coming. So my name is Saccamani. I'm going to say a bit about my name and about my sadhana practice, and then a bit about some friends and some thank yous. I'll start by saying something about the robe that I'm wearing. So we wore these robes throughout the retreat in the shrine room, and I think at first I didn't really want to wear a robe. I just want to wear what I want. But then quite quickly I loved it. I think it's a symbol of harmony between us, that we're all doing the same thing. And also that they're blue. So it's like we became the blue sky that anything can emerge out of. And going to the mountain is a going forth. And I think the robe is a going forth to wear it. But in a way, I think that myth, it didn't really make sense to me. I was thinking of it more like a return journey or coming home. And before I went to Akashavana, I sewed a jewel into my robe. Because I think I've been trying quite hard and putting in a lot of effort to prepare for ordination. And I just felt like I need to stop and just relax. And just let something emerge. So the jewel is a symbol of that, like something within me that's like covered up with these layers of fabric. And I don't think I told Sadhanandi about this jewel. She's my private preceptor, but she gave me a jewel in my name. So Satcha means truth or reality, and Mani means jewel. I was a bit surprised by the jewel, although it was lovely after having gone through that whole story with it. And so I've been reflecting on that, and firstly she talked about the jewel just being beautiful, and she said, I just wanted to give you something that wouldn't mean you would have to do anything. Which is also lovely. And it reminded me of how Bhante said, what did he say? You don't have to justify your existence by being useful. You yourself are the justification for your existence. I think it also connected with something I was noticing on the retreat about experiences of beauty opening me up to metta, becoming more loving, and also something about art. And I think on this retreat I did more painting and things like that than I had for a long time. I was mostly just painting rainbows, but it was very nice. And then another meaning of the jewel that Sadhanandi talked about was that it's the deepest level of the self, and contact with that true self is the most precious thing. So I love my name. At first, the morning after the private ordination, I said it was cute. And then, but I've gone through a process of seeing more of the depth. There's something about it that I feel like, it feels to me like Bhante could have given it to me himself. And then Yeah, and I want to say something about White Tara as well. And that was another uncovering. So I really wanted the Padmasambhava practice. And then on the retreat, Vimalamani made a shrine to White Tara. And as soon as I saw it, I knew she was my yidam. So I knew she was going to be the figure that I would take to meditate on. And there was something about, she has the aura of the full moon, and I think this shrine, it was white, and it had that particular softness of moonlight. And I was drawn to that gentleness of her. Funnily, Sadhanandi had actually wanted to give me White Tara, and I had no idea why. So I think I just wanted to tell that story because it says something about Sadhanandi's intuition and of how she sees people very deeply. And then when it came to the public ordination, I didn't really want people to know my name yet, and I felt like if they have to, I want them to whisper it. And Subhadramati whispered it to me. And I just want to say something about Subhadramati as well. She led this whole 3-month retreat, and she's my public preceptor. I just want to rejoice in her being my friend. I think I often needed help on this retreat, and she just always gave it to me. She gave me a lot of time and love and understanding, and I felt like she gave me permission to be quiet, and that also was something that helped me meet White Tara. And also sometimes we would cook together, me and Subhadramati, and I think making pudding with her is my favourite. So I was very lucky that Subhadramati led my ordination retreat, and also that I shared it with Dhibhajana as well, because we've done so much together. And I was just thinking of one of my favourite memories from the retreat, which was there were some cherry trees at Akashavana, and one day me and Dhibhajana picked the cherries. We got a ladder, and we were in silence, but there was a lot of laughter and joy picking these cherries. So I'll just say some thank yous to other people now. I can't name everyone, but just thank you to all my friends who've helped me and shared the Dharma with me and helped me learn how to practice it. Especially my KMs, Danyuta, he's here, and Akasa Jyoti. And the rest of my Kula, Subhadramati, Sadhanandi, and Kusala Sara. And thank you to my community, Navakula, and for welcoming me back, and for your interest. And just being the context where I've learned so much. And the Lamas and Jambula team as well, also for being so supportive of me going away on this retreat, and Alex for covering me, which made it possible as well. And I want to say special thank you to Achla Priya and Hercules, who are very good friends. Also my friends at Adhisthana as well. That's where Sadhanandi lives and where I met her. And also that Akashavana team. I just felt really moved when I was there by how they live in those conditions. They're quite basic. And how they live there to make it possible for us to do those retreats, and how they're really in service. And finally, thank you to Bante for his vision of the order and of Sangha living and working together. And for his clear and deep presentation of the Dharma, and for integrating the arts with spiritual life. Yeah. I just want to end by saying something about Milarepa, I was reading about, which was perfect, being in the mountains. Yeah. Well, you've been doing Milarepa at Dharma Night, so I guess you know about him. But he was a Tibetan yogi, and he lived in caves. And I think what I found inspiring about him was something about his individuality and commitment to practicing in this particular way, and how he helped people by exemplifying that. And although he was often in solitude, we still know about his teachings hundreds of years later. And I think, I don't know, I think I just want to live in a cave in a way. So, yeah. I hope I can be in service quietly as well. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Saccamani. Yeah, there's lots of stories. There's a few parables in the Buddhist tradition of jewels that are found in coats that have always been there, but we just didn't know. And it feels really fitting when you describe all the striving towards ordination and then getting there and relaxing and discovering or being given the name of a jewel, discovering it was always there. So yeah, really love the way you described that journey, the journey of relaxation, relaxing into who you've always been, and allowing the quietness of you to be very present. That felt very beautiful. Thank you. I'm going to ring a bell. We'll just have leg stretch. If you need to have a comfort break, do. But just a few minutes leg stretch. We can do standing meditation, just in quiet. invite our next new order member up to speak.
Fantastic. I haven't even said a word, so maybe I don't need to say anything at all, but I will. And I'm just doubly delighted to be back here at the London Buddhist Centre. So I just came back a few days ago from the retreat via a country sort of bit of solitude, which was a lovely transition. So yeah, it's really wonderful to be with you all tonight and to say something about that retreat and my name, etc. But it's also especially doubly lovely for me to be here, because actually I've only been in the shrine room yesterday for the first time since the beginning of the pandemic because of a health condition I have. So it's really good to be back. Really lovely to see you all. And by the way, I'm wearing what our founder teacher Sangharakshita calls the abbreviated robe, just so you know. So it's here. It's the light version. And yes, I'm wanting to share with you something about my name and the power of being given a name, Buddhist name in this case. And I'd like to give you a tiny, if I can, it's very hard, you really have to go there, but a tiny flavour, just a sort of something from my retreat experience and my whole ordination experience, which has been a process over many years. And then most importantly, I've got lots of thank yous to say. And I just want to say a big hello to everybody online, all over the world. And from our retreat, there were women from America and Germany, all over the UK and Ireland. So hello, everybody, old friends and new. Okay, so I'll start with my name. So my name, to my utter astonishment, is Vimalamani. Vimalamani. Yeah. So Vimala means pure or stainless, and Mani means jewel. So she who is pure or stainless like a jewel. So I'd never have guessed or imagined such a name coming my way. My private preceptor has come all the way from Birmingham. Maitri, give us a wave. So Maitri has known me for many, many years. She knows me so well. So when I first heard this name, it was a mixture, and the meaning of the name particularly, it was a real mixture of, I was absolutely amazed, stunned, I was shocked even. I was sort of daunted, it has to be said as well, but I immediately knew why she'd given me this name, and it was absolutely spot on for me, and only one who knows me so well and has supported me for so long could give me such a name, actually. So this is Maitri throwing down the gauntlet and giving me the challenge of really, and in a way this is the Buddhist path, so in a broad sense for all of us, getting over myself, getting myself out the way. In my case, and I'm probably not alone in this room, getting that old unhelpful self, and particularly in my case my old self views about the thing we call me, to get that out of the way, because they were rather negative and very, very much in brief arising from early conditioning, as for many of us, and that was a combination of difficult family situation combined with an extreme form of Christian fundamentalism where everything, and very much I, was very, very sinful. So that was the message. And so that's something that I've carried actually for far too long. And it hasn't been a helpful message, as you can imagine. And it hasn't been helpful for other people necessarily in relation to me either, and in relation to them. So this sense of being a bad person and carrying that around for many years actually. Yeah, so this first part of my name, Vimala, is very, very powerful for me, and it really touches on, that challenge of dissolving those old views. So this word pure is not one until now I've ever associated with myself. And it's only through, of course, the purification, the cleansing, the polishing up, the reshaping, the transformation or training in ordination and Buddhist terms, that the Mani part of my name, in my case, the jewel, can really shine through. And now, of course, this is also an archetypal story that, may may resonate for at least some of you in the room. So when I first received this name, I was choosing to camp at that point in this beautiful, dramatic, natural landscape. And I wriggled about in my sleeping bag, and every half hour I'd sort of wriggle out of the sleeping bag and look at the piece of paper that said my name, Vimalamani, and said what it meant. And I just couldn't believe it, actually. I was kind of, I was gobsmacked. I was absolutely gobsmacked. But very soon afterwards, from actually the next morning afterwards, I started actually releasing some of that old, unhelpful energy. Those blocks were already, just in the first 24 hours, freeing up. And, you know, again, the power of a name when it's a helpful name in this way. And I just put a little bit of a framework for us all on what I'm saying here, which is actually, it's a teaching from Maniprabha, which I've always cherished, which is one of the teachers here at the London Buddhist Centre, that in order to truly let go of the self, which is very much part of the Buddhist path, you need a positive sense of self to start with. So you can't do it from that small self, that place of insecurity, or that place where I was just a bad and wrong person. It's a very unhelpful place. So I was just sort of getting over, if you like, the shock of this part of the name, Vimala, and then I thought, oh no, stainless, you know, that's not me. Anyway, I've taken it on, not least because actually I'm a bit of a messy eater, so I don't know if you know that much, Sarah. But anyway, stainless, I'm pleased to say, when I looked it up in the English dictionary, not only does it mean without blemish or taint, okay, but free, light, not weighed down, new. So that's about, again, shedding those old stories, those patterns, those things that hold us back from the freedom and the beauty, the love and compassion that is available. So the ordination process, it's really impossible, like Akashavana, the Women's Ordination Retreat Centre in the remote mountain space. It's really impossible in a way to describe it. It's so individual and unique, but my experience has been, ever since I walked through the doors the first time of the London Buddhist Centre and went on a retreat long ago, one of those big winter retreats many years ago, it has been of a lightening of my load and a letting go and a sense of more and more freedom. And if you like, the ordination process, long as it may have been, has also been a real acceleration and intensification of that process. And then it comes to the crux where you're actually there, and that is an even more, you know, energizing, intense experience in a very, very positive way. The Mani part of my name, that jewel that can only be, can only shine and have light if it's taken out of the mud and the rock and cut and really, really change. The two very much go together so that light from all of us can shine. And that brings me to talk about the illumined forest. So the illumined forest is Akasha, illumined, and Vana, forest, the Akashavana Women's Ordination Retreat Centre, where I experienced, as I had already really since first coming here, this incredible arising of love among the 14, including myself, 14 women, 5 women, very experienced teachers on the retreat team, and 3 women in the support community that lived there almost the whole year in order to enable us to go and have this very special once-in-a-lifetime experience. There was every day, every teaching, every moment that we lived together as a community, this sense of a kind of very loving, powerful community amongst us, built and built and built with a great deal of care. And a quick example of that is at one point we found, many of us, that we were milling about in a small food cupboard where we were keeping the lovely robes and we were keeping a few toiletries because 13 more women had suddenly arrived who were our preceptors to ordain us. One of them was ordaining 2 of us. And in any other circumstances, even with years of practice, etc., I would have felt quite kind of frustrated, maybe grumpy about jostling around in this small space. But I actually grew to look forward to getting into this little space. We were in silence, but we had such a laugh because, again, there was such sort of love and generosity and compassion being practiced among us in these very helpful conditions. So that's just trying to give you a tiny flavour of something that really can't be described. There is one thing that I'd like to add to that, I realise, looking at my notes, which is one of the other retreatants said that she'd come to an understanding before arriving on the ordination retreat that for her, ordination has been a great transmission of love already. And that is and has been my experience, again, in this community for many, many years, and it's been extremely helpful. Yeah, so, okay. I'd like to move on and start to say some thank yous. And the first thing to say is actually it's your transmission of love, you who are here tonight, that enables me to be here and to have been ordained. And first of all, to say that many of you, some of whom I hardly know, or we've said hello for many years, but we haven't had a great big conversation ever, you so generously gave to my crowd fundraiser so that I could leave everything behind and go and have this amazing retreat and ordination experience. So I can't thank you enough, those of you who I barely know. I can't thank you enough, those of whom over here, some of my guests that I've known for 40 years and more. You supported me all the way. And yeah, I'll never forget that, that generosity that has been so expressed by you in the room. I also, of course, want to very much acknowledge the contribution of our founder teacher, Sangharakshita, for making the teaching so accessible to people in this day and age and in this part of the world. I mean, without that, I would not have become a Buddhist. I would not be here as part of the Triratna Order. I don't know how to thank you enough, Maitrasara, for the 18 years since we first met through a work thing, but it was because of your name and I knew you were a Buddhist that attracted me to you in that work context. Yeah, and thank you for my name. And I don't really know how to thank you, but I suspect it might be by living into that name and just taking it on more and more. So thank you. And Subhadramati, my public preceptor, who until recently, of course, was very much a teacher here at the London Buddhist Centre. She's my public preceptor, along with many others of us from this retreat, and she was on fire during this almost 3-month retreat. And every day, even when occasionally we were flagging, because it's an intensive programme, she would sort of light up the shrine room and light us all up. And as the retreat went on, you might think that she might have, the leader of the whole thing and the holder of the whole space, might start to flag. But no, she got more inspired and more energised and more lit up. So, you know, it was absolutely wonderful. And that whole retreat team, Kulanandi and others that supported us, and Bodhi Pakshani, who leads the residential community that's there through thick and thin almost the whole year, running making sure that we can go there, keeping it open, keeping it available for us. And again, I don't know how to express this, but my very special long-term, for a lifetime spiritual friends, we call them Kalyana Mitratas. So Pranya Devi, hello Pranya Devi. From the moment I walked into Mitra study when I used to travel from Oxford, you have been my friend and you have stood by me, I mean, more than loyal. And I have benefited so much from your powerful friendship. And I also want to thank Abaya Nandi, if you're listening while you visit your dad in South Africa, for those 5 years alongside you, and all the clothes in Lama's pyjamas, which of course I couldn't resist. I've got a vast wardrobe. And thank you, thank you, Abaya Nandi, really for your ongoing friendship. I treasure it. Gosh, okay, some more. I won't probably manage to cover everybody, so forgive me if I don't quite get everybody in. I want to thank other women who've supported me all along the way, Vishvantra and Shradagita in particular, from that group of special friends that have supported me into this ordination. And friends like Dharma Dasin, who's some time ago moved from the LBC, and my friend Vajrasara, who very recently died. And Dayachita, and Shradagita, and Dani Uttar, I know you're here. You were here anyway. Dani Uttar. hello. And I mean, Vidyasaki, there's too many to mention. And my community, Maitra Mandal, just down the road, which is one of the London Buddhist Centre's women's communities. I'm very grateful to live alongside you, Alana and Alex and Padmanandi, Kavaradi, Savana Jyoti. It's been very, very helpful to getting me where I am today. And to my peer support group, we call it Going for Refuge group. We've got Jeanette here today, and Laura and Rebecca. So we've been on this path together, and it's lovely to see you again. Thank you. And a very special thank you to Marsha. Marsha, give us a wave. So I had a bit of a difficult week leading up to just going to ordination. A friend of mine, very, very close friend, had a terrible accident, and this really skewed my schedule. And Marsha just rolled up her sleeves and helped pack up my room and get everything into my loft so I could go away, as did my community. I'll never forget that, Marsha. You've always been a true, true friend. Welcome back from Buddhafield. Yeah. And then my many dear, dear friends of old who you've known me 40 years or more. So we've got Kate and Katie there. You've never stopped supporting me and looking after me and sort of championing me all the way. And I'm very, very grateful to you, Kate, for looking after my work of financial affairs and doing such a wonderful job, and all the other people that enabled me to go away on this long retreat. Yeah, so I'm nearly there. Special thanks to people like Madeline and Carrie and Ali and my friend Catherine and all of you who were on the retreat with us, and friends in Germany as well as America today. And people from my yoga community, some of them are online, so I really feel the love from all of you. And a special thank you to my brother and sister-in-law Charlie and Teresa there in the corner, who've actually just come back to the UK today and then crossed from the other, beyond London, far beyond London. You've come a long, long way, and I really appreciate you coming to witness this welcome back. So finally, I want to say, to round off, don't worry, they say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it takes a community of many, many friends to grow a Buddhist, an order member, and in my case, a much happier, lighter, freer human being. So, as we say in the ordination ceremony, may this ordination, which you have all enabled, brackets, be for the benefit of all beings. And very deep bow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vimalamani. I really appreciated all of what you said, and I think you really shared the process of letting go, letting go of those layers that obscure who you really are, obscure the jewel again. I thought you explained that really well, and then the power of them receiving the new name. That you're going to grow into, and it's amazing that you, within 24 hours of receiving it, you're already experiencing the freedom, and I could feel the joy coming off you when you were speaking. So really fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us tonight. And we have our final speaker now. Thank you.
What a welcome. Thank you so much. Have a look what to say. So, I think, I suppose the first thing I wanted to say was when I first arrived, we came up and you showered us with petals. And there was this beautiful mantra, and I just sat down and I thought, I hope I can honour your commitment to whatever it is, why you're here. It might be for one of us, but it might be for this. But, whatever it is, I so want to honour that, your commitment and my commitment. So I thought I'd try and say a little bit about how did I get here. And I'll tell you about my name. So my name is Maniprabha, and I'll say a bit more about what that means later on. I'll just check, can you hear me okay in this big room? Brilliant. So I'll say a bit about my name, and I too will give some thank yous, because we don't do it on our own. We can't do it on our own. So how did I get here? I thought the most important thing to tell you about myself, if you don't know me, is that I really, really, really love growth and development. I just really love them. So I think probably since I was quite small, actually, I've always wanted to be the best Esther that I could be. So that was the name that I was given, the name that I've always had. So I wanted to be the best Esther that I could be. And there were a few reasons for that. So one reason probably was that I thought the Esther that I wasn't very good and could be better. And you know, that was probably also true. And the other reason is that well, I studied conflict and I've worked in human rights, and so I have had a sense, you know, there's a lot of trouble out there in the world. We all know that. Some people would say the world's on fire. The Buddha probably would say that. You know, the world's on fire. And so I felt like I really, really, really wanted to help to make the world a better place. And in order to do that, I was going to need to be much more capable and resilient and kind to have any kind of effect on, you know, all of that. So that was sort of driving this love of growth and development. And when I came across Buddhism, the thing that just really, that I fell in love with and really captured me was this vision of a limitless potential, absolutely limitless potential of any human being. And so I sort of first came across that. I'd gone on a retreat, in a way, kind of by accident. It's not important. There I was. And the experience that I had there of people, you know, in a way was much like what I see when I look out now, is a sort of a brightness, a real presence, an ability to somehow take me in which I could sort of grow towards that somehow. So I think that was an experience for me that gave me a hint of something of that potential, of sort of what it was, the direction in which it might be found. And I had a bit of a setback on that retreat, because quite a big setback. I was suspicious of the Buddha. Because, you know, I knew Buddhism wasn't exactly necessarily a religion, and there wasn't meant to be a god, but it looked quite a lot like a god. People were bowing, you know, in a certain kind of way. And so someone who was going to become my friend, Kavaradi, I said to her, what's all this then? And she just said, well, maybe you could think that you're bowing to your highest potential and the highest potential of all beings. And I thought, okay, you know, back on board. so that was sort of the track for me. And you know, I kept coming along here, and I practiced for quite a while, and I asked to join the order. And I think in the process of sort of training to join the order, you know, all the processes and things that entails, the idea of the best Esther kind of fell away, because when you asked to join this order, I feel I was asking for something that I didn't actually know what it was. I didn't quite know what I was asking for, and I was asking for something that you can't even really put into words. I was asking to become someone beyond what I can imagine. And at the same time, kind of asking to become someone that maybe already exists, maybe even was faintly visible, maybe to somebody somewhere. And I asked Vandana who's here, hello, I asked Vandana to ordain me, because I thought that you could see that person, or that you might be able to see that person. So when I was at Akashavana, at some point during that kind of timeless, very long, very short period, Vandana came and she did ordain me. And when she ordained me, I learned the name of that person, that faintly visible, perhaps maybe person. And the name was Maniprabha. And the meaning of that name is she who has the radiance of the wish-fulfilling jewel. So yes, another jewel. They've been popular this year. So when she gave me my name, I cried and I loved it. And it doesn't feel like that easy a name to explain. Maybe you have to ask her more. I'll say what I can, I'll try. So Prabha means radiance. And actually Ranjan Jyoti said, similar to Saccamani, she wanted to give me a name without any action in it. So maybe at that point I'll just pause to say that in the kind of work that I mentioned, I have been quite active. And, I really want to move towards that vision, and then sometimes I get run a bit ragged, and sometimes other people get run a bit ragged in that. So she wanted a name without any action in it. So the radiance of the wish-fulfilling jewel. The wish-fulfilling jewel is quite a mysterious symbol in a way. To think of a jewel itself, it's very rare, it's precious, and it's something that's sort of uncovered and brought to light, maybe uncovered from many, many layers of geology, of time, and the process of kind of getting to it could be quite turbulent and difficult. And it's precious because of those things. And in Buddhism, the most precious jewel there can be is the wish for all beings to reach their highest potential. So some figures, some Buddhist figures that you will see, you see them holding a jewel to their heart, and that's the wish-fulfilling jewel. And so it's a sort of sense of everything coming from that place, from that wish, that very, very deep wish. So, for all beings to reach their highest potential, what would that even mean? What would that look like? I do think about that, and I just think it's really big, and I don't even, I don't know what that would look and feel like, because I'm here, sort of reaching towards something in a way, almost without being able to see. But if I really use my imagination, I think of a state of limitless creativity and inspiration, generosity, positivity, and joy. And that's when I started kind of thinking about Akashavana, because the atmosphere that was created by the team there had all those things. It really, really felt quite a lot like that. And the women who kind of created that atmosphere and experience for us, they'd done what I was doing. They had joined this order 5 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 3 decades ago. And their practice seemed to look a lot like what I was sort of reaching towards. And so what effect did that have on us? There we were, we travelled quite a long way. We were in this environment, and we were being sort of surrounded by creativity, inspiration, generosity, positivity, and joy. And we were joining in that and creating it as well. And what I saw, as maybe not going to be a big surprise, but I saw people grow and really develop. And a few examples where I remember somebody describing their armour falling away from them. And somebody told me how much my face had opened, and I could feel that as well. I knew that it had. And I saw another friend just be so brave and do something that she'd never ever done before. So I was just sort of seeing that all around me. And especially around the time of the ordination, I just couldn't stop looking at people and just loving them completely for, just seeing them being what they were. So I guess sort of coming back to the team who were able to bring that experience about, just sort of brings me back to my initial feeling on that first retreat, and probably pretty much every time I've come here to this shrine room, which was sort of looking to the people who were leading me and thinking, if the path I'm taking can lead me in that direction, then I'm going to keep going. And that's how I still feel. So that's what I wanted to share with you. And I feel like I haven't told you anything about being in Akashavana really, except what it feels like. I really want to. I don't want to be mean and withhold it from you, but it's a really difficult thing to do. In my mind are Subhadramati noticing a rainbow cloud outside and saying, "There's a rainbow cloud," summoning everyone outside to see it because it was really important. What the full moon looked like when it was rising over the pine trees, the sound of the owls at night, what it was like to be in the mountains, what it was like for there to just be blue sky absolutely everywhere. It was full of beauty. So it was full of beauty, and that beauty really touched me, and I hope some tiny part of it has come back with us and can touch you. So I'll just finish off, in case you're worried. Just finish off. I too would like to say some thank yous. So while I was away, my dad, it looked as though my dad might be going to need some treatment for a cancer that he has, and he did end up needing that treatment, and I wasn't there to help him. So I just really want to thank my dad for not minding and cheering me on, actually, really supporting me and encouraging me to go. And I want to thank my sister Jenny for actually going up and helping look after him, cooking, cleaning, while still doing her busy day job as a senior civil servant. And thank my partner Radhika. Radhika is not a Buddhist, she's a Hindu, but she's just been so supportive and wholehearted and loving in kind of, letting me just go off for 3 whole months and not be in contact with her, and then welcoming me back with no hair and a new name. I wanted to also say thanks to my friend Becky, who sent flowers to Radhika regularly while I was away, because she would be lonely. And to say thank you to the charity I work for, Globe Community Project, who gave me a sabbatical 3 months so that I could go off and do this. And it's not easy for a small charity to do that, and it's a bit expensive. And they did it, and they got me a really brilliant cover person, and then they've welcomed me back. So thank you. I also want to thank the 13 other order siblings who I got ordained with. We all created something together, and every time I clean my teeth or peel an orange or eat peanut butter, I will think of you all. I do think of you all. And so maybe last of all, just to thank everybody, and I'm not going to name people because we'd be here all night. So to really thank everyone that supported me, particularly the community Maitri Mandal that I lived in, members past and present, and of course Vandana Jyoti, who ordained me. Thank you, and thank you to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Maniprabha, for such a beautiful evocation of Akashavana at the end there, and also taking us right back to the beginning of growth and development. I mean, all this starts from the kind of sense that there must be more to oneself, to the world, and which is something that all of us, every human being can relate to, and that's where your awareness started, and then the journey along the way. So all of this comes out of that. And I really loved your evocation of Akashavana and the different moments of the rainbow cloud and the owls, and also the beauty of that makes sense. Gets even more sense in the context where one's trying to grow and develop. The context and the meaning of that makes the environment come alive even more fully. So I thought you really brought that beautifully. So yes, another jewel. We have lots of jewels in our midst. We have four jewels, 3 named, but 4 jewels, who've come back to really give us the benefits of their wisdom, their experience and their love. So much love. We've all expressed so much love tonight. Love of the community that you've been in, the friendships, the people that have supported you, and the love of this context as well. So I really want to thank you for bringing so much back, and that we've benefited from this evening. There's so much of what you said I think will stay with me, and I know stay with us here tonight. So I think they all really deserve another huge round of applause, and we want to give you something for what you've given us this evening. So we're going to end our evening with a 3-fold puja, and the puja is a series of verses, 3 verses, which we can do in call and response. If you've never done a puja before, you're welcome to listen or join in. And it's expressing the path. It's expressing stages on the path, 3 stages on the path. And in this puja, we invite our 4 new order members to make an offering. There's a flower there. You can make an offering in the mantra section, and you'll come up first. Yeah. And we'll have a mantra. Panya Manas will do the Saccamani mantra after the first verse. So if you'd like to make an offering, you can also do so in the offering section, or you can do that at the end of the puja when we're on our way out. Yeah? Just sit for a bit. The 3-fold puja. Open in reverence. We reverence the Buddha.
We reverence the Buddha.
The perfectly enlightened one.
The perfectly enlightened one.
The shower of the way.
The shower of the way.
We reverence the Dharma.
We reverence the Dharma.
The teaching of the Buddha.
The teaching of the Buddha.
Which leads from darkness to light.
Which leads from darkness to light.
We reverence the Sangha.
We reverence the Sangha.
The fellowship of the Buddha's disciples.
The fellowship of the Buddha's disciples.
That inspires and guides.
That inspires and guides.
Om Muni Muni Maha Muni Shakya
Saccamani Swaha. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni 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 Saccamani Swaha. Shakyamuni Swaha. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni 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 Shakyamuni Swaha.
Reverence to the three jewels. We reverence the Buddha
We reverence the Buddha
and aspire to follow him.
and aspire to follow him.
The Buddha was born as we are born.
The Buddha was born as we are born.
What the Buddha overcame, we too can overcome.
What the Buddha overcame, we too can overcome.
What the Buddha attained, we too can attain.
What the Buddha attained, we too can attain.
We reverence the Dharma and aspire to follow it.
We reverence the Dharma and aspire to follow it.
With body, speech and mind until the end.
With body, speech and mind until the end.
The truth in all its aspects.
The truth in all its aspects.
The path in all its stages.
The path in all its stages.
We aspire to study,
We aspire to study,
practice,
practice,
realize.
realize.
We reverence the Sangha and aspire to follow it.
We reverence the Sangha and aspire to follow it.
The fellowship of those who tread the way.
The fellowship of those who tread the way.
As, one by one, we make our own commitment.
As one by one we make our own commitment.
An ever-widening circle, the Sangha grows.
An ever-widening circle, the Sangha grows.
Offerings to the Buddha. Reverencing the Buddha, we offer flowers.
Reverencing the Buddha, we offer flowers.
Flowers that today are fresh and sweetly blooming.
Flowers that today are fresh and sweetly blooming.
Flowers that tomorrow are faded and fallen.
Flowers that tomorrow are faded and fallen.
Our bodies too,
Our bodies too,
like flowers,
like flowers,
will pass away.
will pass away.
Reverencing the Buddha, we offer candles.
Reverencing the Buddha, we offer candles.
To him who is the light, we offer light.
To him who is the light, we offer light.
From his greater lamp, a lesser lamp we light within us.
From his greater lamp, a lesser lamp we light within us.
The lamp of Bodhi shining within our hearts.
The lamp of Bodhi shining within our hearts.
Reverencing the Buddha, we offer incense.
Reverencing the Buddha, we offer incense.
Incense whose fragrance pervades the air.
Incense whose fragrance pervades the air.
The fragrance of the perfect life.
The fragrance of the perfect life.
Sweeter than incense.
Sweeter than incense.
Spreads in all directions.
Spreads in all directions.
Throughout the world.
Throughout the world.
Thank you for your presence. Thank you for our 4 wonderful guests and new order members sharing with us this evening. It's beautiful. There's tea and cake, and you can connect as well with each other.
Ha ha ha.